My name is Ceresta Smith. I am a veteran educator. I've been teaching for over 33 years at this point in time. I taught 32 and a half years with Miami-Dade County Public Schools. And now I'm working with a private company that basically picks up the slack for public schools that are short-staffed. And regarding the short staff in public schools, it's turning into a situation that is crucial. It is very critical at this point in time, and teachers are leaving in droves. They're leaving for various different reasons, but one reason that they're leaving in the state of Florida, where I teach, is because they are being badly compromised when it comes to their ability to teach freely within the context of curriculums that promote quality education, teaching true historical facts, teaching, allowing students to explore what's going on in their contemporary world regarding key issues. And some of these issues, of course, include race, it includes ethnic studies, it includes religious practices, it includes gender and identity. It includes also elements of what we call social emotional learning. I'm in a state that is almost ground zero when it comes to compromising the ability to teach and to teach effectively to our pre-K through 12 students. Public education has been under assault in this particular community for a number of years. The privatization method of destroying public education has been real here. And each year it seems to get a little worse. Recently, the Supreme Court had a decision where it was promoting the idea that it's okay to take public school tax dollars and use it to fund private education in parochial schools. Well, that's been going on in Florida. This state has had that going on through the voucher process for many years now. And it's a shame that the Supreme Court has further compromised the separation of church and state by handing out a decision that allows this to continue. Florida has had situations where they have compromised teachers in their classrooms regarding what they teach and how they teach. This year in particular, unfortunately, one teacher that I know had her own private TikTok, and in her own private TikTok, she shared her ideas, her message, etc., with her TikTok friends. This was nothing that she did during school time. This was nothing that she did directed towards students. It was for her adult community of friends. Somehow one of the parents was able to see the video. That teacher will no longer be working in Miami-Dade County Public Schools. Her freedom of speech in her personal life has been badly compromised. Governor DeSantis, and I hate to even refer to him as governor at this point, has done so much to empower parents. And when you look at the Women of Liberty, that particular group that is going to school board meetings, that is creating conflict within the context of school board people that have been elected in many of these states, that particular organization had its start here in the state of Florida, in Sarasota area. It's to the point now where they've empowered parents within the context of the legislative policies in the state of Florida, that parents feel like they can basically control everything and anything that happens inside Florida classrooms at this point. I think most people are familiar with some of the bills that have been passed in our legislative process here. And it's been basically passed by a conservative community. The more progressive legislators in Florida have very, very little power in this state. They're overshadowed by a majority conservative state and state house and Senate body. And because of that, we have the Don't Say Gay bill that has badly compromised the ability for students that are proud or understanding of their particular sexuality choices that aren't really choices, and our government fails to understand that people come to the planet particular ways, that the choice issue when it surrounds gender identity is basically a misnomer. They don't choose. These choices are made for them as they are born. Well, it's caused a lot of the students to wonder now, what are we going to do? What's going to happen to our gay straight alliance clubs? You have a lot of educators now that do not even want to be represent these kids and be their sponsor at this point, because they don't know how far they can go being a sponsor anymore. And this is something that teachers didn't mind doing. And this is something that teachers were very proud of, to be able to sponsor these particular clubs, the gay straight alliance clubs. Now it's up in the air. We don't know. Teachers can also at this point in time be held accountable and sued if a student comes out to them in private and asks for it to remain private. If a parent finds out, they can sue an educator at this point in time as well. My very first year of teaching in Miami-Dade County Public Schools, I was teaching a class of English 3, which is junior level. It was an honors class. And a young lady came out to me in that class. She felt that she could tell me in confidence her feelings. I tried to support her as much as I could. I knew she did not want me to share any of the information she was sharing with me with her parents, and I didn't. However, in the 21st century, if that scenario played out now, that teacher could legitimately, based on the laws of Florida, lose her job. And not only lose her job, be sued and have her financial situation jeopardized even more. So times are crucial. Times are very crucial. We're losing our democratic privileges. The Constitution is being badly violated. And I've had many history teachers come to me. Even though I'm no longer employed by Miami-Dade County Public Schools, I'm still a member of organized labor. My local United Teachers of Dade, and I'm also still a member of FEA, NEA, AFT. As a retiree, I'm still a member of these groups. And while I was teaching here, I was also a very active union steward. And I was very active in my union, and many people would come to me with their issues, with their problems, et cetera, that could be addressed within the context of our organized labor body. The unfortunate thing that I've had people come to me, Ceresta, we don't know what we can teach. We don't know what we can't teach anymore. We're afraid to teach. Many have decided, our younger staff members have decided to say, we're done. We're not going to go through this sort of pressure. We're going to prepare ourselves for another profession, or we're going to look for jobs elsewhere. And so it's causing a lot of teachers to flee. And those that do stay are having to deal with the fact that they don't know what and how they can teach now. This law was passed that has censored critical race theory, which critical race theory in K through 12 education is another misnomer. Most people know at this point that critical race theory is a theoretical concept that has come out of Black academia, and it's generally Black academia that's in our law school environment. It also happens at graduate level in various different courses and whatnot, but it definitely has not been shared or taught to students in pre-K through 12th grade in our public education system. Has the fact that America has a history of structural racism. It has a history of enslavement of people. It has a history of genocide. It has the history of sexism. Have these things been taught in the curriculum? Yes, it is, but you cannot teach particular historical figures without adding these particular facts in. And it's wrong now that teachers are confused about how much they can share in their social studies classes, as well as their language arts classes, as well as their film and TV production classes, because all these things are addressed, the historical concepts, historical happenings, particular literary pieces that have historical value. People don't know how they can teach anymore. For example, part of the 11th grade curriculum was Dr. King's letters from the Birmingham jail. How do you teach Dr. King's letters from the Birmingham jail in a nonfiction unit if you cannot go into why he was writing the letters in the first place, why he was in jail in the first place? I mean, it's compromised. But teachers are now wondering if they can even use their anthology, which is a part of the language arts curriculum and its anthology. They're wondering if they can even teach what's in their anthologies now. This is how bad it is and how bad it is getting. You have courageous teachers that are teaching the truth regardless, no matter what. We have this next school year to see if there's punitive action taken against them. We have no way of knowing how far this is going to go and how many parents are going to be active in trying to get teachers penalized and fired because they teach the curriculum the way they've been teaching it for many years. We have no way of knowing at this point, but I can say the story that I just shared with you about the teacher that will no longer be employed, that's a classic example of how it works and what ultimately can possibly happen. The principal caved into the parent and actually terminated that young lady's contract. The unfortunate situation here in Florida is that teachers do not get any sort of permanent contract, particularly in their first 3 years of teaching now. They can be let go for any reason at any time. So one parent can drop a ball, contact an administrator and say that teacher is teaching my child or making my child feel bad about his race, etc. And the teacher can be let go with no recourse to address what just happened. So we're ground zero here. And the unfortunate thing is this ground zero here has spread to other states. The unfortunate thing is with the current people that sit in our Supreme Courts and our state courts that have been appointed by more conservative judges, this whole experiment that we call democracy can be on the chopping block. So at this point in time, I think it's very important that we as a collective, educators, students, parents that appreciate the fact that we have written into our Constitution freedom of speech, we have to work hard and work together to fight against these oppressive forces that are trying to compromise everything, that are trying to not separate church and state, that are trying to make people ashamed of the fact that they're either gay, that they're either trans, that they're either brown, that they're either Black, that they're either Asian, Muslim, anything other than white, Anglo-Saxon, Protestant, Christian, or Catholic. We have to band together at this point to preserve truth and preserve democracy. And it is crucial that we do.